Well, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us this afternoon here at Jefferson Playfield on a beautiful baseball-like afternoon here in the Tri-Cities. I'm Jim Hall, and I work with the Kadlec Foundation and the Tri-Cities Cancer Center Foundations, or as we call them, the foundations at Kadlec. And our roles in our foundations is to provide, through our donors, worthy support of projects, primarily as they involve Kadlec Regional Medical Center and our associated services. But obviously, Kadlec serves the entire community. And so the project that we're here to share about today really, to me, extends the reach of Kadlec into the community in a positive way. And what we're here today is to announce present, we should say, some AEDs to some sports complexes throughout the Tri-Cities to obviously help keep our community safe. This whole idea, I want to give a quick plug to a friend of mine, started with a colleague by the name of Dale Bourgeois. And he came to me, he's a youth sport parent here in town, and he had said, is it possible to secure some AEDs for our league? And he took it upon himself to go out throughout the community and through our different sports leagues in the Tri-Cities, find out where all of the different facilities that could utilize these AEDs should they be needed. And so what we came up with is we identified, I think, 14 or 15 different locations that were going to be providing AEDs. And these will be not only used for, obviously baseball season is upon us, but we've asked the leagues to make them available to any sports that are using their facilities. So for example, out at Bombing Range Complex in West Richland, they have soccer, they have lacrosse, they have Grid Kids football, to make them available so they know where people know throughout the year where these are made available. So that's why we're here today. I want to thank everyone for joining us, our partners from EMS here in the Tri-Cities that have been wonderful partners throughout the years, and then of course our sports leagues that donate their time. I think the common denominator is in all of this is these are volunteers doing things to help other volunteers be safe in our community. I want to have you hear from some folks who helped make this project all happen. Most notably is going to be our first responder community, and we're happy to have Battalion Chief Michael Van Beek from the Richland Fire Department. That department has been a wonderful partner of Kadlec's over the years, and Mike's going to share a little bit more about how these are going to help keep our community safe. Mike?
All right, thank you, Jim, and a big thank you to the Kadlec Foundation for their generous donation and really investing back into our local community. And I would just like to echo the words that Jim said. It has been a great partnership with Kadlec and Richland Fire and all EMS agencies throughout the area, and we're certainly grateful for that. I'd also just to recognize the other fire and EMS agencies that are here today in attendance. So from Benton County Fire District Number 2, Fire Chief Dennis Bates and Lieutenant Derdarian. From Pasco Fire and EMS, Captain and EMS Officer Chris Mortensen and Firefighter and Community Risk Reduction Manager Ben Shear. From Kennewick Fire and EMS, Captain and EMS Officer Scott McClellan. And from Richland Fire, Fire Chief Tom Huntington and Deputy Fire Chief Randy Oss. So thank you all for being here and supporting this event. So why are AEDs important? In the United States, approximately 350,000 people suffer out-of-hospital cardiac arrest every year. But unfortunately, even when a cardiac arrest is witnessed, only about 10% of people survive. Here within the Tri-Cities, we are better than average, and our survival rate when someone witnesses a cardiac arrest is nearly 50%, but we can do better. This is partly because we don't have enough accessible AEDs available, and most bystanders are still hesitant to step in and take action. When sudden cardiac arrest strikes, every second counts, because for every minute that goes by, the chance of survival decreases by 10%. Brain damage will start to set in after 4 to 6 minutes, and it's irreversible after about 10 minutes if no one starts CPR and sends for an AED. Studies have shown that the immediate use of an AED combined with CPR can drastically increase the likelihood of survival. So that means when someone has a sudden cardiac arrest, they are highly dependent on the public to step in and help them. The effectiveness of early cardiac arrest recognition, starting CPR, and using a defibrillator played out before us on a Monday night football game in January when Damar Hamlin suffered a cardiac arrest. This shows that sudden cardiac arrest can strike anywhere, anytime, and affect anyone. Everything that can be done and that was done to save his life is something every one of us here can do by ourselves. AEDs are safe for everyone to use, and you do not need to be a trained responder to use one. By placing these life-saving devices throughout our community, we can flip the statistics and help save more lives from sudden cardiac arrest. So thank you to the foundation for providing these life-saving devices.
I mentioned that volunteer organizations like the Kadlec Foundation, it's just right in the wheelhouse of this group to want to seek and find worthy projects in our community to support. And the Kadlec Foundation, that just fits right within its mission. And I'm happy to introduce to you today the Vice Chair of the Kadlec Foundation Board, Josh Chittenden. Josh?
Thank you, Jim. My name is Josh Chittenden. I'm proud to serve as a member of the Kadlec Foundation Board. Our mission is to elevate community health through the generous support of our donors. I can't think of a better project to support than this AED project, because it puts these in a facility or in an area where there are children and even supporters of those children that could potentially need that life-saving support. On behalf of Kadlec Foundation Board, I'd like to thank the Richland Fire Department and first responders throughout our community for the dedication to keep us all safe.
Thank you, Josh. And Josh forgot one important thing. He's also a parent. And so I think that's why we're all here today. Probably all these first responders are parents and one-time coaches in sports throughout the Tri-Cities. And that's where the next group that we'd like to hear from, a great partner in helping get this launched, is the Greater Richland Little League team. Little League, I should say, and they have facilities in Richland as well. And I'd like to bring up Dan Evans, who is the president of the Greater Richland Little League. Dan?
Thanks, Jim. We at Little League and many, I guess we say probably most of the youth sports organizations really enjoy tremendous community support, from our sponsors that help make it cheaper for the kids to play, help us get equipment and such, to the cities that have the parks that we play in. We really appreciate all of that. Today we'd really like to thank the Kadlec Foundation and our first responders for making this possible. We hope to never have to use something like this, but in the event of a medical emergency for a kid, a player, a coach, umpire, or just a bystander, watching the game, it's comforting to know that now we have something available to us at the park to try and save a life while we wait for the first responders to come and finish the job. So thank you all for your support. Kadlec Foundation, first responders, big thank you to all of you. Thanks.
Thank you, Dan. And I should, we had a press release that we've shared with you, and it lists some of the community areas, these sports complexes in and around the Tri-Cities where these will be made available. And again, the one thing we want to make, these can have a year-round impact, not just with Little League season that's getting underway as we speak, but obviously there's sports like lacrosse and soccer and Greek kids football, and really the swim facilities, or the little water feature in the hot of the summer. If you drive by any of those, you see they're very well attended and very well utilized during the summer months. So that's the whole purpose behind where we're at today. I invite our media partners. You can grab any one of these people that is here when we're done, but I want to thank everybody for coming. We really appreciate the support in the community, and what a great way to get started and starting for the spring baseball and spring sports season. So thanks for coming this morning and or this afternoon. Have a great day.